First of all, let me start by thanking you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I also want to congratulate you because you are well on your way to getting your home sold quickly. What I'm going to show you today is that I have a system in place that will get your home exposed to more potential buyers than any other realtor or real estate company out there. What I'm going to show you is selling your home is as simple as 1, 2, 3. So let's just dive right in. The first thing we'll talk about is priced. What I want to sell your home for, or what you want to sell your home for, that doesn't mean that that's what we're going to get. What your home is worth is what a person is willing to buy it for, what they're going to pay for it. So we could sit here and talk about price. But we'll do that when I come out and sit down and talk with you. The big determining factor will be what somebody is willing to pay for a home in your neighborhood, what they're going for. So since we can't really talk about price right now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to just move ahead with my presentation. And like I said, when I come out and we sit down and talk, we can then discuss price. The next thing that I'd like to talk about is showing your home, shows, the next thing in getting your home sold. And what I mean by that is having your home clean. I'm not saying you have to go out and remodel everything, but it is very important to have it clean, not a bunch of clutter around, so that it shows well. And the outside be cleaned up too. Have good curb appeal because people will pull up to it and first impressions are always huge. So that's important. But there's also another part of showing your home that's crucial that I want to talk about. Just a few years ago, somebody would come into my office and we'd sit down at the desk and I'd talk to them and I'd say, well, here's the 5 or 7 homes we're going to go view today. Well, now with the internet growing the way it is, that same buyer will come into my office and we'll sit down at the desk and they'll say, hey, Rob, here's the 5 or 7 homes we want to view today. So what they're doing is they're going online before they even contact an agent, and they're picking out homes they want to see. And one of the big ways they're doing that is through the photos. And that's why it's crucial that we have professional photos done. Now, I'm a real estate agent. I'm not a photographer, so I hire a professional company to come out and take the photos. And what you're seeing right now is a picture of one of the virtual tours that we've done. And you're welcome to pause this if you want and write down the website address and go look at that right now, or you can look at it later, whatever you'd like to do. But I'm going to move on here. So what is very important is the National Association of Realtors did a study, and they found that homes with professional photos and 6 or more got 360 times more views than homes with 5 or less photos that weren't professionally done. So like I said, I'm going to hire a professional to come in. They're going to take anywhere from 100 to 200 pictures, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick out the best 25 pictures, and I'm going to make you up a virtual tour so that when these buyers do go online, they do look, they're going to want to come out and see your home. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is the marketing of your home. And this is where I'm going to spend the majority of my time on this presentation, because the most important thing I can do is market your home properly so that we get people in to see your home. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, this pie chart here is actually done by the National Association of Realtors, and it's done every year, or it's put out every year by them. And it's just a chart they do to find out where people are actually going to find their homes. And you can see that the internet's a little bit bigger than real estate agents, and that may not seem like a big deal. But just a few years ago, the internet was only about 19%, and you go back 8 years, it was about 5%. Real estate agents back then were about 65 to 70%. So it is crucial that we have a really strong internet presence. Another reason this is important is that the study shows that 85% of buyers today actually start their search online before even contacting an agent. And what's even more interesting is that the same study showed that 37% of these buyers found their home online before even contacting a real estate agent. That's 1 in 3 homes sold were found online before even contacting a real estate agent. So what this tells me that what's most important is that today's agent understands internet marketing, which is why I went out and spent the money and the time to get trained. And I took first the ePro class through National Association of Realtors, and then I took the Internet Marketing Specialist designation. And what I learned from those two things are 5 different portals that I'm going to use to sell your home in not only a fast manner, but for top dollar. So, and here's the 5 portals you can see here. And the first one I'm going to talk about is brokerage websites. And what I mean by that is, with the technology today, it gives us the opportunity to showcase your property on a variety of local realtor websites. So it isn't really going to matter if you use a Prudential, a Century 21, a Coldwell Banker, Keller Williams, because we all share information together through the MLS, which stands for Multiple Listing Service. MLS, just real estate jargon. But what that is, it's this huge database that every office and every agent shares with each other to invite people to come in and assist us in the selling of your home. So this is huge. It increases the chances of us getting an agent to bring in a buyer by 10, 1,500 more. We take it very seriously, which is why we have the quality photos. Now going back to our pie chart here, the next thing on that is national portals. And what that means is things like Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia. Realtor.com is still the granddaddy of them all, but Zillow and Trulia have now moved way up in the rankings. You can see here I have a Trulia page and a Zillow page and then the Trulia page. And the reason I have those, again, it's just things that I've learned of what people are looking at. So I know how important it is to have those, and you can see how many hits I got on previous homes. So you're going to have national portals totally covered. Now going back to our pie chart, the next thing on there is classified advertising. In classified advertising, the biggest one out there is Craigslist. Craigslist gets 25 million hits a day. It's the number 9 looked at website every day. Does that mean that all of these, all the people are in San Diego that are looking at that? Of course not. That's not my point. But my point is that it's huge, so it's important that we're on there. And yes, there is Oodle and iList Micro and Kijiji. And I'm going to put your home on all those too. But Craigslist, the studies I've read, the most it's hit is at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. And the big difference between our office and other brokers is that they'll put it on there once and then that's it. Well, I put it on at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. every 48 hours because Craigslist won't let you put them on every 48 hours. And I will do that throughout the whole time that your home is up for sale. We could get somebody from Japan to Scotland could look at your home through Craigslist and look at the virtual tour and may want to see it. The thing with the internet today is you never know where your buyer is going to come from. They could come from anywhere in the world. So I think it's very important. I also will do ads on Oodle, iList Micro, and Kijiji, but not as often because they're not nearly as popular as Craigslist. So going back to our chart, once again, you can see now the next thing would be search engines. Of course, Google's the biggest one of all. There's no doubt about that. Google, Yahoo, they're all big, but Google's by far the biggest. Bing's out there now, but the big thing we do is we spend a lot of money on search engine optimization. That's our office does that. And plus, when you add in all the other things we're doing, there's no way you're not going to be on page 1 of Google or any of them for that matter because of all the things that we're linking in together, plus the extra money we spend on search engine optimization. When somebody does search for a home, they're going to find your home. And if it's not through our website, it's going to be through Trulia or Zillow, Realtor.com. It's definitely going to be on one of those. And there's more of them out there, Redfin, but they'll all be picking up because of all the things we're doing. So you're going to be on page 1. You will definitely be found there. And looking back at the chart, the last thing is social media. And I'm sure you've heard of Facebook. Facebook's actually, believe it or not, the most looked at website now. It's number 1, Google's 2, YouTube's 3. I have a YouTube account. If you did look at the virtual tour earlier, then you saw that's on my YouTube account. I put all my stuff up on YouTube. I have a Facebook, Twitter. You've seen the Zillow, Trulia. We're all over the place. So hopefully what this shows you, what I've showed you so far on the internet part of this, is that there is absolutely no way that somebody looking for a home in your city is not going to find your home, either through one of our realtor.com or through another website, just through search engine optimization. It is literally impossible for a person to not find your home. But if there is something that an agent has told you that they would do that I did not say here, please feel free to call or email me, or we can talk about when I come out, because I'm always open to learning new things. But I'm very confident in that your home will be found on the internet. Moving back to our pie chart, the study from National Association of Realtors. And the next thing is real estate agents. Real estate agents are still a very important part of getting your home sold. In fact, the National Association of Realtors study shows that 35% of homes were sold because a realtor said we should go and look at this home. Now, like I said earlier, that number may have gone down, but it doesn't matter. That's still 1 in 3 homes sold were through a real estate agent. So we're going to make sure that we have a strong presence with real estate agents. If you look at this chart here, the first thing, I've already talked about the MLS in detail, so I won't bore you with going back over that again. But number 2, what we do is we make up an electronic flyer, and we send that electronic flyer out to all the agents. And we don't just do that the first day we list your home. We do that continually throughout the whole process to constantly remind the agents that the home's for sale. And I think that's important to always keep in front of them. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is we're going to make up a paper flyer, and we're going to take that out to the top 20% of the agents in our area. And the reason being, we find that those top 20% of agents in our area do 80% of the sales. So I want to talk to them one-on-one by handing them a flyer. I'm sure you've heard the old 80-20 rule. I think it applies in about everything. It's no different in real estate. So it's really important that I have some one-on-one contact with them and make sure that they are handed a flyer and they know that your home is out there, because they probably have more buyers than other agents. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the local realtor meetings, and I'm going to stand up and I'm going to talk to people about the fact that your home's for sale, what we like about your home, what they're going to like about your home. And the last thing is constant communications. And that's one of the biggest complaints that I get about from sellers, is that their agent just never communicated with them. And this is important for a couple of reasons. Whenever someone does show your home, we're going to call them right away and ask them what they think, and are they going to make an offer, or what do we need to do to get them to make an offer. And if for some reason they say no and then they've found another home that they liked better, I'm going to go out and take a look at that home just to see what the home offers, see maybe what the difference is between our home and their home. And then we could still maybe negotiate with the people about coming back with a different type of offer for us. So that covers my agent-to-agent part of the presentation. Again, if another agent has said something to you about something they would do that I didn't mention here, please, again, call or email, or we could talk about when we all sit down, because I am always curious to know or learn new things. I never claim to know everything, but I do think that so far you've seen of the 2 big ones, we have everything covered. And now I'm going to move into the next part of the pie chart from the National Association of Realtors, which would be the signs. Signs make up 15% of sales today. And I have a little bit, signs and flyers, I have a little bit different view. I'm sure, hopefully we could put a sign in front of your home. We'll see if there's a HOA issue, then we won't. But if we do, one thing I want to stay away from is putting flyers on the boxes or on the post. I don't think that's a good way to advertise your home. It doesn't tell anybody about the character of your home or anything. And if you look at the sign I have at the top, the runner on the top, a number that people will call to get information about your home. Now, I prefer to go this route because when they call that number, that is designated for your home only. And what will happen is I will then get their phone number. So after they've listened to the message, I can see exactly what their number is and give them a call to see what they think about the home. This is a much better way for us to go rather than just having somebody grab a flyer, get in their car and drive off and never knowing who they are. Now, I don't mind making you up a nice flyer. In fact, I'm happy to, and I think it's important, and I will. But I want us to keep the flyers inside your home. I don't want to have them outside. And that leads me to one more thing, too. So say a real estate agent's showing your home, and so they come in, they get a flyer and you're at home, and they're walking through the house and they're showing it to their client, and all of a sudden they ask you so innocently, it seems, they say, when do you guys have to be out of here? And you say, oh, we got to be out here in 6 weeks. Well, guess what? You've just taken away a huge bargaining chip, because they're going to think 6 weeks, wow, they're desperate, they got to go, lowball offer. So during this whole process, if anybody does ask you anything, all I want you to say is, you know what? Rob's handling this for us. You need to talk to Rob about that. And that just takes added pressure off you too. Let me deal with it. And you guys have enough going on in your life, so I'm happy to do that. It's my job. Now, next thing on our pie chart is open houses. I get a lot of different views on open houses from home sellers, and I leave it totally up to you. Some people want open house every weekend. Other people don't ever want an open house. It makes up 7% of the sales, which I know is not a huge number, but still it's 7%, and it just takes one. What I will suggest is this, and I will totally leave it up to you. If you want to do an open house every weekend, we'll do one every weekend. If you never want to do one, we'll never do one. Except I would suggest we do one the first 2 weeks. Just think back to that chart. About 37% of buyers find their home online before even contacting an agent. The serious buyers, people that are pre-qualified, they're out there looking, they're ready to buy, they're looking all the time. That's all they're not going out for dinner, they're not hanging out, they're actually online looking for homes. They're ready to buy something. So they know when something new comes on. And they're going to know for sure because of all the internet stuff we're doing, as I've already showed you. So they're going to see your home just coming online. They're going to look at the virtual tour. They're going to love your home. If it's what they're looking for and the price range they're looking for, they're going to love it. They're going to want to see it. Yes, they could contact me, but some people might be a little nervous. So what we want to do, what I suggest doing is either the first Saturday or Sunday and the second Saturday or Sunday, or both days, whatever you want to do, we hold it open. And then if they come in, it'll make them feel at ease to come in and take a look at the house with absolutely no pressure. When I hold open houses, I do not put pressure on anybody that comes in. The other thing is, if they don't have an agent and I end up writing the offer for them, that could save you a great deal of money, which we could talk about too as when I come out to speak with you. But again, open houses are totally up to you. This next slide is friends and family. We want to make sure, and I'll give you a stack of my cards, that we pass out cards or flyers, whatever you're comfortable with, to all your friends and family and your kids too. If you have kids that are in school, don't be afraid to have them say, hey, I know they're not going to pass out cards or anything like that, but they could tell their friends, yeah, my mom and dad are selling their house. They may have parents that are looking for a home that want to move into your area. The kids go to school there. So that's another, and believe me, that actually works. Again, we're not talking about, you're talking about 3%, but it just takes one. And the final thing I'm going to talk about here as far as marketing of your home is the print media. And print media is pretty much dead, and everybody knows it. Look at how many newspapers are going under. The huge newspapers are barely making it now, and just about every newspaper is online. But I still like to run newspaper ads when we first come on the market and whenever we do open houses. And the bottom line is people are going to be reading the paper around here, like the San Diego Union, North County Times, the coastal newspapers. So those are the ones I will run advertising in. So that is it. That wraps up my marketing side of it. There's a few more things I would like to talk to you about. But first, again, let me just go back. If any other agents have said anything that they would do, then please do let me know, because I would be very curious. And like I said, I'm always trying to learn. But hopefully you see how this system that I just explained to you can expose your home to more buyers than any other real estate company or real estate agent out there. Got a couple photos in here I want to show you. And the first one, and I know this is Jimmy Stewart. This is one of my favorite movies. It's A Wonderful Life. And I love this picture of Jimmy Stewart. And I would say this is how I look when I'm in pre-sold mode. When I'm working with other agents and I'm working with other buyers, this is how I present myself to them. But I also have another favorite movie, and that is Mel Gibson in Braveheart. Now, I know Mel Gibson, forget about all his goofiness. It's a great movie. And the point of this photo is that I'm going to fight extremely hard to make sure I get every dollar I can for you and your family. Next, I want to show you let the fun begin, as it says, and I'll just be brief on this, the paperwork. And as you know, the paperwork today, when you get involved with real estate, is just huge. I mean, it's unbelievable that there's so much paperwork nowadays, but it's there to protect everybody. And, you know, when you look at it and there's no writing on it, it looks pretty simple, right? I mean, it's just some paper with some words on it, no big deal. But when you get an offer in, it can get very confusing. In fact, we can get in 2 offers on the same day for the same amount of money. But because of one buyer's needs, you may net way less money because of their needs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take every offer that comes in and I'm going to break it down so that you can see how much money you're going to put into your pocket. Another thing I get asked a lot is, so Rob, when are we going to be out of here? When are we going to be able to move? Well, I could tell you this. If we price your home properly, your home will sell anywhere from 30 to 45 days. And right now, with escrow, you're looking at about 45 to 60 days. So you're probably looking anywhere from 75 to 120 days from when the moving van backs up and you start loading up all your crates and the dogs and the kids and everything else, and you start moving on with your life. Now, as I'm wrapping up here, there's just a couple last things I want to cover. And I want you to know that I will never allow commission to stand in the way of us doing business together. I know that's always a big issue with people, and we can't talk about it on this presentation, but when I do come out and sit down and talk, I just want you to know that. And there's another thing. On the listing agreement, page 2, I always write this in. I mean, I grew up on a farm. I'm a former Marine. I don't want to work for somebody who doesn't want me to work for them. So if at any time after you let me go to work for you, if you're not happy with my service, then I will fully let you out of the contract. And I put it right in on page 2. It'll just state before we open an escrow. So any time before we have an open agreement, open agreed contract, if you're not happy with my service, then I will let you fire me. Now, I've never been fired in my life, and I have plenty of other clients that I'm happy to let you talk to. You could talk to them about those 2 personalities and those pictures I showed you earlier. And I'm pretty sure they're going to tell you they enjoyed those personalities, and they're going to tell you they're pretty much dead on. But that's important to me, that you're happy with my service. That's about it. I take calls till 10 o'clock at night. Please feel free to call me anytime. You can email me anytime. I would love the opportunity for us to sit down and talk. I look forward to that opportunity, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this presentation. Have a good night or day. Thank you.